say, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
The Gullah Geechee, we are the separated ones. We are the ones that did not run straight up into the cities and take on the cultural identification. We stayed on the outskirts so that we could hold our culture in many of our ways. So in that aspect, I was born Rastafari, because Rastafari is that Nazarian, the separated ones. So it's that separation that starts that awakening. And from that point in our community, we had elders who, I'm talking about way back, who had locks, stayed up in the bush and things. Then we had our other elders coming up to our time period, and when I'm still about a teenager. But we have our other elders, Ras Hanif, with Savannah State Radio, played reggae for years. So in the Gullah Geechee community, it was rootical. It was rootical from the mamas to the babies, and a lot of people don't know that. In the instance of our family, I've watched people do a dialogue of separation of Caribbean and American. So if go right there, boy. I mean, say I want to know. Them people don't know what we be talking about sometimes too. So in Gullah Geechee, we got our own patois. So patois wasn't no problem for the Geechee because we spoke patois the whole time.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's rightful ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hail them high, hail the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi. They stole my people, then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion we come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight to Ethiopia.
So Lion Pride globally, make sure you check in, let us know where you're watching from in the comment section, and help us to welcome our guests tonight, Ras Lazarus. Welcome, my brother.
Yes, I welcome. Thank you.
Minister Ras Lazarus Nazir. Let me put some respect on the eye name, you know what I mean? Bless up. How is everything with the eye?
Nagu Salam, everything is blessed, King. Give thanks. And I'd like to say it is an honor and a respect to you for your works, for collectively engineering and bringing together the minds and allowing that voice to be heard. So that is very important in these times. So I give thanks to you.
One of the things I realized doing this work is that we have all of these silos of works happening, but there's that connection. So there's this narrative that Rastafari people not doing nothing, and I'm saying, but this don't reflect the reality that I live. You know what I mean? I'm surrounded by bare works happening, so I don't, So I wanted to create a platform that challenged that narrative and that exposed the people to the type of conversation, high level Rastafari reasoning. We look online, we see the 19 keys, we see the this, the that. We used to that. That's our day-to-day that we, you know, when you come up in this liberty, you used to the high level reasoning, but online we don't see them reasonings, you know what I mean? So I
Yes.
wanted to make sure that I step into the space and provide that for the family, particularly for the young people. But we have a tradition here on the Lion Voice Network with all of our guests. We're asking the eye to step into our iritical time machine and take us to the moment of the eye birth and paint the picture of the eye origin story. You know, take us from the eye birth to your journey to Rastafari.
Yes, I. Yes, I. Well, in the simplest, means a Gullah Geechee baby. Yes, I. Means a Geechee baby. Yes, I. So, my family come from the islands on the coast of America. They are what you would call the Maroons of the Americas in those aspects. From St. Catherine's Island to Skidaway Island to Defusky Island, our family lineages are up and down the islands. One of the things that is not known by most people is all of these islands are mound temple, spiral, pyramidical lands. The Gullah Geechee, we are the separated ones. We are the ones that did not run straight up into the cities and take on the cultural identification. We stayed on the outskirts so that we could hold our culture in many of our ways. So, in that aspect, I was born Rastafari, you know, because Rastafari is that Nazarian, the separated ones. So it's that separation that starts that awakening. And from that point in our community, we had elders who, I'm talking about way back, who had locks, stayed up in the bush and things. Then we had our other elders coming up to our time period, and when I'm still about a teenager, but we have our other elders, Ras Hanif, with Savannah State Radio, played reggae for years. You know, so in the Gullah Geechee community, it was rootical. It was rootical from the mamas to the babies, and a lot of people don't know that. In the instance of our family, um, I've watched people do a dialogue of separation of Caribbean and American. You know, so if you know, go right there, boy. I mean, I say I want to know. Them people don't know what we be talking about sometimes too. So in Gullah Geechee, we got our own patois. So patois wasn't no problem for the Geechee because we spoke patois the whole time. But in my family lineage, my grandfather, Isaac Anderson, my grandmother, Adele Anderson, is a book out called Drums and Shadow. And it's about the Gullah Geechee families. And if you go through the pictures in there, that's my family. That's literally like, that's my family. And it goes back to my grandmother, Ma Eva Bowen, is called the Indian. Here, they called her Indian. But in our family, we know it's because she's West Indies, meaning she came from the islands and was brought here. So in those traditions of knowing that, there was already that connection, you know? So then when you grow up and there's nothing on TV, there's some Captain Kangaroo. I'm in my 50s, so I got a little age, you know? So you got Captain Kangaroo, you got the Mr. Rogers and all of them. So we didn't stay in the house watch no TV. We went and sat out by the fire with my grandfather and with the old men. And when them old men would boil crab or cook fish, you know, they bring their moonshine out, but they would tell the stories, and the oral traditions would be handed down.
Okay.
You know, yes, I. So at that stage, I thought I was doing something when I went to grow my locks. And one night I was sitting out by the fire by one of our older cousins named Gussie. Gussie said, boy, I know you is. Boy, I know you is. Boy, you know you is. Boy, I know you is, boy. And I thinking first I was like, yeah, you know who I is. Then he said, no, boy, I know who you is. And we had a discussion. See, it been in their heart for years. So when you stand up and put the locks on and you put that power on, the older men used to be like, yeah, boy, you free, boy, you free. Boy, you free, you not scared. See, because they remember white people would get them for these identifications. You know, like we got elders in our community. Mama Phoebe, when I was young in the 80s, Mama Phoebe died. She was a slave. She came out of slavery, got to see Star Wars and Star Trek and see television. You understand? So
people don't realize how recent slavery was. We think it's some ancient institution, but you know what I mean, we're one or two people removed a lot of times from slavery. And let's let the people know, what part of the United States are you talking about when you talk about Gullah Geechee predominantly?
Savannah. We're talking about Savannah, Georgia, going down from Savannah, Georgia to Jacksonville, Florida, going up into South Carolina, into Chalktown, what we call Charleston. All of those areas, we have a tradition of family members that are boat builders. So in our area, people didn't drive the highway. Old men got in the boat and they sailed up and down the coast. So if the old man sailed down this way, and let's say he produced some family down here, but he was from this island here. So now you got family down here. So now everybody be traveling, and you know, some of the family down here then ride up to another island up here, and they produce some kids up here. So you got family over here too. So at certain times of the year when we was young, all of the Gullah Geechee communities used to meet the Fernandina Beach in Jackson, in Florida. And it just stopped, you know. So yes, that's how the culture came to me, and it came through those traditional emplacements, you know.
Well, I am the generation of those that chose to see the face of the great I am. With the Emperor Haile Selassie, King Rastafari of Ethiopia, well, he's the almighty creator, in flesh and in bone, and he's seated upon King David's throne. Well, I came to tell the nation on the microphone.
Yo, let them know righteousness is here to conquer. The bigger king trample down those evilest monsters. Mussolini, he's getting burnt up like ganja. Our nation needs to get stronger. Give thanks, our locks is getting longer. The angel revealed the scriptures, the number 6, verse 5. My antenna channeling the heights of the Most High. Crown king of king, lord of lords. Now you do the math, Rastafari comfort. I and I with the staff. Children of Israel, make sure you step on the right path. It's the 21st century, the wicked about to feel the wrath of the ancient of days. Emperor Haile Selassie, pure in all his ways. That's why I Kwasi and I praise the Naya Bingy King. Let the children know the salvation Naya Bingy bring. Yo, it's conscious hip-hop music, strictly for the king. For those that don't know, it's a Naya Bingy thing. Heading the Aya.
Bingy King, Naya, Bingy King, Naya, Bingy King, with the scepter lightning. Aya, Bingy King, Aya, Bingy King, Aya, Bingy King, with the scepter lightning. Fire, Bingy King, fire, Bingy King, fire, Bingy King, earthquake lightning. Naya, Bingy King, Naya, Bingy King, Naya, Bingy King, with the scepter lightning.
Tell him about Selassie. Terrible and dreadful, with the head full of sheep wool. Babylon, you better keep cool, cause he rules. Earth is just his footstool. You think you somebody, but you're only just his tool. Whirlpools, whirlwinds, blow away their sins. Instead of following the shepherd, they were following trends. We set the judgment, they killed too many innocent. Now they got to feel the wrath of the omnipotent, omniscient king with the scepter lightning. From the birds to the creeping things, all hail him. Selassie I, guide I and I, provide for I and I. Live in outside I and I, so we can't die. Must live eternal I, up in Mount Zion I, side by the Most High. Aya, Bingy King, King of all kings. Can't forget Queen Omega with the scepter lightning.
Naya, Bingy King, Naya, Bingy King, Naya, Bingy King with the scepter lightning. Aya, Bingy King, Aya, Bingy King, Aya, Bingy King with the scepter lightning. I see bring the judgment on my enemies. Remember we the Hebrew that you claim to be. The game that you play lame to we. Cause you put me in shackles and chains, and that's plain to see. They ain't got no name for we. And the Selassie I strike like hurricane rains off the sea. We still remember slavery. Ain't too much change, things still seem the same to we. Black man, your brain ain't free. Feel so much pain every time I try to watch TV. I can't stand what I see.